is Whisper Sister. This is a rune reading video for someone who sent me a message on YouTube, and I printed out the message, but I didn't include the username, so I know it was Edward something, but I don't know the exact name at the moment, but I'll put it in the title of the video. And I just want to say to anyone who may be listening who has requested a reading and who I have not done a reading for, I'm sorry. I have had just a lot of stuff going on in my life that's kept me away from YouTube for the most part. And I got a lot of requests, and it kind of became a bit overwhelming, and they all sort of got backlogged, and then a ridiculous amount of time has gone by now since I got some of those requests, and it's just it became something that I couldn't stay on top of. So what I will say is that I'm planning to do more of these videos. My situation now is such that I can do them more easily and more frequently, and so I'm pretty much just going to start fresh. And if there's anybody who would still like a reading, feel free to send me a new message, and I'll try and get to them more quickly. I'm going to send messages out to any people who have requested readings and just let them know. I'll let you all know that I am open to requests, but I'm just going to, sort of wipe the slate clean and start with any new requests that I get. So I do apologize for anybody who got overlooked, and I trust that you are all able to work through your struggles on your own intuition and wisdom, because really all you need is within you anyway. But I'm happy to do these readings going forward for anybody who's interested. So what I am going to do though is just do single rune readings, because the 3 rune spreads that I was doing, based on the number of requests that I got, if I get anywhere near that many requests again, I just won't be able to do them. It's not feasible at this stage for me to do 3 runes for everybody, unfortunately. So I'm just going to do single rune spreads, just a single rune reading, and hopefully it'll give you some insight anyway. So this is for Edward, and I hope it offers you a little bit of guidance and insight in your situation. Okay. Just taking a moment to clear out my own mental clutter, because I have quite a bit on my mind at the moment. And I hope that my own stuff won't sort of come through in your reading, but I guess even if it does, it might be relevant, because I can relate to says for this one, and then I'm going to see if I have anything to add based on my own. I've gotten this rune quite a bit, and actually got it recently in response to a situation that I'm going through, so. Okay. Sorry, I just had to move my car because someone started playing loud music nearby. Okay, so here we go. Tewaz. This is the rune of the spiritual warrior. Always the battle of the spiritual warrior is with the self. Funding a will through action, yet unattached to outcomes. Remaining mindful that all you can really do is stay out of your own way and let the will of heaven flow through you. These are among the hallmarks of the spiritual warrior. Embodied in this rune is the energy of discrimination, the sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old, the dead, the extraneous. And yet with the warrior rune comes certain knowledge that the universe always has the first move. Patience is the virtue of this rune, and it recalls the words of St. Augustine, that the reward of patience is patience. Here you are asked to look within, to delve down to the foundations of life itself. Only in so doing can you hope to meet the deepest needs of your nature and tap into your most profound resources. The molding of character is at issue when you draw Tewaz. Associated with this rune are the sun, masculine energy, the active principle. The urge for conquest is powerful here, especially self-conquest, which is a lifelong pursuit and calls for awareness, single-mindedness, and the willingness to undergo your passage with compassion and in total trust. When this rune comes in response to a relationship issue, it indicates that the relationship is both timely and providential. The bond is a real one. There is work for you to do together. If the issue concerns devotion to a cause, an idea, or a path of conduct, the warrior rune counsels perseverance, although at times the kind of perseverance called for is patience. A rune of courage and dedication. In ancient times, Tewaz was the glyph that warriors painted on their shields before battle. Now the same symbol strengthens our resolve to align the self with the self. So that means to align your sort of day-to-day self, the one that makes all your decisions and choices about, what you're going to do with your life, to align that with your higher self, the one that holds your wisdom and intuition and, knows the right thing to do, even if it's not necessarily the most pleasant thing to do. That is your higher self. So I think my interpretation of this anyway, when it talks about that battle being with the self and it talks about turning inward, in your message you mentioned that a lot of your relationships in life are in a little bit of upheaval, and there's some uncertainty in relation to the people close to you. What I would say is, this isn't specifically what this rune is talking about, but it's just what comes to mind for me. I'm not sure how old you are or where you're at in your life, but from the sounds of what you're talking about, it sounds to me like you're in a stage of life where you're questioning who you are and what your life's purpose is, or what your life path is going to be. Maybe the kinds of people that you want to have around you, the kinds of relationships that you want to have, and what's really important to you, what your values are. And so what I would say, just from my experience, is that I tend to see people and my relationships with people as mirrors. They sort of reflect back to you the beliefs that you're holding about yourself, whether directly through their actions and the way that they are towards you, or more subtly through the way that you interpret their actions. That's really what happens, is that people are however they are, and based on how you interpret their actions and the way they are towards you, those interpretations are formed because of the way that you see yourself. And so, I guess, if you have a question as to whether, how someone sees you or feels towards you, you mentioned not being sure, not feeling worthwhile, according to your parents, for example, or, all those questions about how these people see you. Maybe just ask yourself, do those resonate at all with how you see yourself, or with the fears that you have about yourself? Because it could be that you're externalizing those beliefs onto people, and maybe they're not actually coming from those people. Maybe it's just, the fears that you have, and the uncertainty that you feel in your own life and with your own identity, are kind of being mirrored back to you by the people that are close to you. And that's just what comes to my mind, because I know that, it sounds from your message like you're in a period of a transition and growth and exploration. So I guess my advice would be, the first relationship for you to look at is your relationship with yourself, and see if you're being gentle and loving and kind towards yourself. And if not, start there, because if you start there, the rest of your relationships will just follow however you treat yourself. That's how people will treat you. And until you are able to be kind and loving towards yourself, you'll have a hard time accepting kindness and love from other people, even if they are willing or offering it to you. So yeah, I would just say, focus on your relationship with yourself, and if there are any struggles to be found there, or any doubts and uncertainty, maybe start with those. It's also a pretty liberating approach, because it means you're not relying on anybody else outside of you to change the way they're acting or anything. You can go within and do some work inside, and that's something that you have control over. So I don't know if that's accurate at all. I hope that helps. I do know that you have everything you need inside to navigate your relationships and your life choices. The more you can trust yourself and know yourself and be kind and compassionate to yourself, the easier that will be. So good luck, and I hope this helped. Let me know what you think. Feel free to message me if you have any questions or anything. If you want to talk about anything, I'm around. So thank you for your request, and yeah, to everybody else out there, feel free to send me new requests, and yeah, I'll be around. So take